So yeah, this session is going to be recorded. We just want to say thanks for all of your interest in ACM AI. We really appreciate you coming out and taking the time to come here and learn more about what we do. Yeah, so just as a heads up to the format of this meeting, we're going to quickly go over a presentation, probably around 40 to 50 minutes about what we do. And then after that, we'll go into a Q&A session. We'll have breakout rooms for the different initiatives that we do. So you can go ahead and ask us any of your questions there. If you have any questions during the middle of the meeting, we would encourage you to hold on to those questions to the end of the meeting for the Q&A session, just because things can get really easily lost in the chat. Yeah, and hopefully you enjoy this. Yeah, so just to give a quick introduction to ACM AI, we're one of the 8 subcommittees of ACM, the largest computer science organization at UCLA, and we're focused on artificial intelligence. So I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering, what exactly is AI? What's all the hype around this buzzword that is artificial intelligence? Why should we really even care about it? So if you're if you're not convinced that AI is something you should care about, let's take a look at what industry leaders in technology have said about artificial intelligence. Jeff Bezos, CEO of Amazon, states that it's hard to overstate how big of an impact AI is going to have on society over the next 20 years. Sergey Brin, co-founder of Google, states that the new spring in AI is the most significant development in computing in my lifetime. Every month, there are stunning new applications and transformative new techniques. And lastly, Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, and many other ventures, states, I think we should be very careful about artificial intelligence. If I had to guess at what our biggest existential threat is, it's probably that. So if you take it from the word of our leaders in the technology industries, AI is clearly going to be something that's very important and actually already is and has had a profound impact on society overall. Just to give you some example, or just to give you a definition of what exactly AI is and why they consider it so important, here's just a definition of what artificial intelligence is. AI is the theory and development of computer systems that are able to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence. So this includes things such as vision. So when you look at a bunch of objects, say in your room, you're able to identify where all of them are, what object they are. It turns out for a very long time, it was very difficult for computers to do this. Another example is speech and understanding speech. So being able to talk to your friends and family, being able to synthesize actual words and understand words when they're being spoken to you has been considered very difficult for computers to do, and really is still very difficult, but we've made a lot of recent amazing progress using machine learning. And that brings us to our next buzzword that you've probably heard of, which is machine learning. And so a definition of machine learning is really just a subset of AI. So it's a type of AI that provides computers with the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. So typically, honestly, what you're probably going to learn in the majority of your CS classes, if you're a CS major here at UCLA, is how to program, how to tell computers and give them specific instructions on how to perform various different tasks. It could be really anything. Machine learning offers a different paradigm where instead of specifying the instructions on how to perform a task, you tell the computer what task you want to accomplish and give examples of solving this particular task. And the algorithm that you run actually tries to learn how to perform this task all on its own. And so this is a completely new paradigm for just how we tell computers and get them to do what we want them to do. And so there are a lot of applications for machine learning that many of you are probably familiar with already and have probably already used. And in almost certainty, you've used at least one of these things. So a few industry machine learning applications that you might have heard of include one, voice assistants. So if you've ever used Siri, Cortana, Google Assistant, Alexa, any of those things, those all use machine learning in order to understand the speech and text that you're saying to these assistants to give you what you want. Next, personalized content recommendations. If you've seen the Facebook event for this ACM AI general meeting, chances are it's actually a machine learning algorithm that recommended this event and it popped up in your feed and maybe you clicked interested or going, and that's how maybe you actually found this event. And machine learning is pretty much used in every single content recommendation system in pretty much every service nowadays that you might use. And lastly, one big, really exciting new application of machine learning is self-driving cars. So a lot of big companies, including Uber, Lyft, Google, Tesla, are all investing very heavily in machine learning in order to build self-driving cars. And they use machine learning to give their cars vision and to be able to recognize different cars on the road and perhaps even plan out their routes. So this is something that was considered to be very difficult in the past without machine learning. But with this new algorithmic paradigm, a lot of the tasks that we thought were impossible in terms of self-driving for computers have actually become a lot more attainable and accessible in the past. So those are a few examples of some really interesting industry applications of machine learning. Maybe you're more interested in how machine learning can positively impact society. And there are countless examples of those, both in industry and in academia. For instance, machine learning is enabling new breakthroughs in healthcare. You'll probably see a lot of AI plus healthcare startups and projects and technologies come out over the next few years. For instance, Stanford's machine learning group has developed a deep learning, which is a kind of machine learning based algorithm for diagnosing different diseases and irregularities in knees by just giving the algorithm an image of the MRI scan. And in many cases, this kind of technology potentially could be less error prone than humans who are potentially looking at these MRIs and could save lives by reducing numbers of misdiagnoses, for example. And this kind of technology can also help reduce the cost, which makes healthcare more accessible to more people. An example of social impact, positive social impact that's been created by industry machine learning is, for instance, Google's DeepMind team was able to create AI that reduced their cooling center energy consumption by 30%. So they use an AI algorithm to basically manage how they allocate their resources in their servers, including their cooling resources. And they used machine learning in order to accomplish this. And they were able to reduce their energy consumption, therefore reducing their emissions and reducing their carbon footprint and their impact on global warming. And lastly, another big example that came out of the research community recently, an AI system was built to basically do protein folding, which is just a fancy word for this computational biological task where computers are used in order to try a bunch of different configurations of proteins. And this is something that's very useful for drug discovery. So in times like this, such as a pandemic, it's something that's probably at top of mind, really relevant. It'd be great if we built really amazing AI that could build treatments for, sort of, say, COVID-19 or even vaccines. So these are just a few of the amazing examples about how AI can be used to create really amazing positive social impact in the world. So hopefully now I've convinced you that AI is something that's worth studying, worth learning about, and is going to, and already has, had a profound impact on your everyday lives. And so I just wanted to briefly talk about the mission of ACM AI and our values and how this vision will help you learn more about AI and hopefully contribute positively to the world with your new knowledge of AI. Our mission as an organization is to develop a community of students interested in AI at UCLA and beyond. So we are an organization that really wants to spread knowledge and awareness of AI for every single person. We believe everybody deserves an education in AI and everybody deserves to learn how to build these systems if they want to and use it for social good. And hopefully you as UCLA students are people who want to do that. One of our values is increasing technical proficiency and awareness in AI. Almost all of our initiatives try to accomplish this in one way or another, whether it's our workshops for our UCLA students, whether it's our outreach to high schools teaching introductory AI to kids, or whether it's running our diversity-focused podcast, You Belong in AI. We want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to learn about AI, whether or not they're interested in even building AI or not, because it affects everybody. Second, one of our other values is creating a positive impact on society. Now, this might seem something that's pretty obvious and self-explanatory and maybe doesn't need to be said, but as you'll learn more about AI, you'll find that it's actually quite easy to create negative impact in society without realizing it or even intending to. There are many things such as algorithmic bias, using unbalanced data sets that can cause a lot of harm to society without any wrong intention of the user. So as people who are building technology responsibly, it's important for us to consider the impacts that our technologies have on society and make sure that we're considering these things as much as possible. And lastly, our third value is diversity and inclusion. ACM AI prides itself on being an organization that is open to everybody. We have opportunities and initiatives that cater towards people who have no prior experience in machine learning and people who have maybe a bit more background and want to go a step further. We also want to make sure that all of our events are inclusive and accessible to as many people as possible from all different backgrounds. And we want to do this for pretty much every single one of our initiatives. And now I'll pass it off to Arjun because he has a bit more to say about our diversity and inclusion initiatives.
Yeah, thank you. So I don't have a lot to say right now, but basically just echoing what John said, we really do value that literally every member of society has the opportunity and access to an AI education. Because especially with AI being something that's so interdisciplinary, like as you saw earlier in the slides, having an impact on almost every aspect of society, from healthcare to education, to even like the voice assistants you use on a daily basis, we really do need to include every member so that our technology works for everyone. So to that end, we're participating in AI's JEDI program, or ACM's, not AI, ACM's JEDI program this year, where we're actively taking concrete steps towards improving diversity and inclusion. We're setting objectives to make our slides more friendly to colorblind individuals, to maybe reach out to groups that we haven't reached out to in the past. And through that, we will make sure that we make an AI education truly available to everyone.
Sounds awesome. All right, so just to quickly talk about the amazing officers that we have, our core leadership team. So you already know me, I introduced myself in the beginning. I'm John, I'm ACMAI's president. We have 4 subcommittees dedicated to different aspects of our mission. So we have Vaishnavi, who's our workshops director, Maya, our events director, Harsh, our projects director, and Arjun, our outreach director. And so throughout this presentation, you're going to be hearing from each one of them about what each of their subcommittees of ACMAI does and how that aligns with our mission. And yeah, they'll introduce themselves in a little bit. And just one more thing I'd like to, or one more set of people I want to introduce. We have a couple of really amazing advisors who are former officers for ACMAI. And if you stay towards the end, you might be able to speak to them as well. They have a lot of really amazing experiences in and outside of AI as UCLA students. So be sure to check that out at the end. Just wanted to quickly give them a chance to introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Mega. I am a senior studying computer science here at UCLA, and I was formerly the president of ACM AI last year.
Hi, I'm Shravani. I'm also a rising senior, or actual senior, studying computer science here, and I helped found and get the outreach subcommittee started.
Hi all, I'm Keshav. I am a 4th year CS major. I was previously the projects director at ACMAI, and now I'm an advisor here.
Awesome. All right. I'll now pass it off to Vaishnavi, our amazing workshops director, to talk about our workshops initiatives.
Hi everyone, my name is Vaishnavi. I'm a 3rd year and I'm the workshops director of ACMAI this year. Could you go to the next slide? Thank you. So the goal of the workshops division within AI is to provide an interactive learning space exploring the theory and implementation of machine learning. And we do this by offering various tracks throughout the year. This fall, we're offering beginner track, advanced track, and apply ML. These tracks are taught by our wonderful officer team. You'll get to meet them later in this presentation and in our breakout room. And I want to emphasize that, sorry, could you go back really quick? I want to emphasize that our workshops are open to students of all majors, all years, all backgrounds. You don't have to sign up, you just have to show up. The Zoom links for all our workshops will be posted on our Facebook page and Discord channel an hour before every event. And no prior experience is necessary either. That's exactly what our beginner track is for. How these workshops are structured is they span 8 weeks, and each workshop is every week, and it's 2 hours long, usually. And if for some reason you can't attend any of these workshops, all our events will be recorded and posted on our YouTube channel. And with that, we'll introduce our beginner track officers. Sudhanshu.
Hey everyone, my name is Tanshu. I'm a second year computer science and mathematics double major, and I'm a workshops officer at ACM AI. I'll be teaching beginner track along with Jensen and Aditya. Aditya couldn't make it today, but he's a second year computer science major as well.
Hello everyone, my name is Jensen. I'm a second year computer science major. I'm also a workshops officer, and I'll be teaching beginner track as well, just as Sudhanshu mentioned.
So who's the beginner track for, and what's going to be covered? Beginner track is for people with little to no experience in machine learning. So if that's you, definitely check out beginner. We do recommend that you have some minimal programming experience, but even if you don't, just show up, see where you stand with the material, and if you're confused, our officers will direct you to some resources to get you caught up until you're comfortable with the material. What's going to be covered is, first off, we start off with the basics of machine learning and what AI is, and then we delve into the theory and implementation of some models, such as linear regression and logistic regression. You'll also be introduced to some useful ML libraries, and this entire track will conclude with a 2-week mini project where you'll be building your own project from scratch, and of course with the guidance of our officers. This track will be Tuesdays, 7 to 9 Pacific time, and please make sure to check our Facebook page for the Zoom link. Next, we have our advanced track officers. Payman's going to get us started with the introductions.
Hi guys, I'm Paymon. I'm a second year. Wait, this is working, right? You guys can hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure. I'm a second year computer science major, and I'm one of the officers teaching advanced track this quarter. So yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Justin. I'm also helping out this quarter. I'm a third year CS student.
Hi guys, I'm Ben. I'm a fourth year CSC student, and I'm also helping out with advanced track this quarter.
So the beginner track material seems kind of like comfortable for you. You already learned linear regression. You already are comfortable with logistic regression. Then advanced track is a track for you. We expect that you have some prior experience with machine learning, and you'd be comfortable with building a logistic regression model on your own, and that you have some prior programming experience. And what's going to be covered is the theory and implementation of a shallow neural network. So if you've been hearing about neural networks a lot lately and want to learn what that's all about, then attend advanced track. And along with that, we'll be delving into more complex deep learning models as well. And this track also concludes with a 2-week mini project. Our project director is going to talk to you more about how advanced track is the perfect transition to our project subdivision. But for now, I'll say that we do have a projects division as well within AI, which is great if you want more hands-on experience working with ML. And advanced track is the perfect bridge to get you onto our projects team. And advanced track meets on Monday, 6 to 8. Apply ML is our third track we're offering this quarter. It's a brand new track. I'll be telling you more about what we're covering, but we'll start off with officer introductions. Harsh.
What's up, guys? My name is Harsh, and me and Varun are going to be teaching the Apply ML track this quarter. Varun sadly couldn't be here today, but We are both third-year CS majors, and we're really, really excited for this opportunity.
I think someone asked earlier in the chat what the difference is between ApplyML and beginner advanced. So ApplyML is not, it doesn't fit into our like sequential ordering of beginner track and then advanced track. It's completely separate from the two. It's also completely open to beginners. So if you have no ML experience, definitely check out ApplyML. And again, we recommend that you have some minimal programming experience, but if you don't, that's totally fine, show up anyway. What really sets apart ApplyML from our beginner track is that we have a heavy focus on implementation. If you're curious about like how to work with data and really gain a lot of extensive practice with building models and working with ML libraries, then ApplyML is the track for you. We meet Thursday, 7 to 9. And I want to add that, like I said at the beginning, all our workshops are offered multiple times throughout the year. So if you want to attend beginner track and ApplyML in the fall, and then advance in the winter, like that's totally doable. And also spring, we'll be offering these tracks all over again. And with that, I'll hand it off to our wonderful events director, Maya.
Hi, I'm Maya. Before we get into what events is, we're just going to go over a quick introduction for the events and outreach officers.
Hi, I'm Arjun. I'm the outreach director, and you'll hear a little bit more about outreach in a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Maya, pronoun she, her. I am a second-year computer science major, and I'm the events director for ACM AI. And our first officer is Amin. He could not make it today either, but he's also a second-year computer science major.
Hi, everyone. I'm an outreach events officer. My name is Jason. I'm an outreach events officer. I'm a second-year CS major, and I look forward to you guys joining ACM AI.
Hi guys, my name is Kai. I'm a second year CS major. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm also an outreach and events officer, and I look forward to you guys coming to our events.
I don't know if Matt is here, but he's also a second-year computer science major.
Hi guys, I'm Nisha. I'm also a second-year computer science major and an outreach and events officer. And I'm also really excited for you guys to come out to our events this quarter.
Hello, my name's Sumeda. My pronouns are she and her. I am your last outreach and events officer. I'm a third-year CS major, and I'm really excited to meet you guys.
Hi, I'm Shravani. I advise outreach because they are the coolest, tied with the other subcommittees, and I love them.
I don't know if Matt's still here, but Matt is like by far the coolest person you'll ever meet at UCLA. He's the president of Teach LA, and he also does advising for outreach because we do our North Hollywood High School course with Teach LA.
So first we'll go into events. Events is the newest subcommittee of ACM AI, and we try to make events for people who maybe are not, maybe they don't know how to code, or maybe they're just not super interested in very technical applications of AI and want to learn about AI in other fields. So we try to put on things that integrate AI with neuroscience or with law or sustainability in a very comfortable and inclusive environment. Next slide, please. So some of the things that we have coming up, the biggest thing is demystifying AI. You can come to learn about bias in AI, which, as John mentioned earlier, there are some ways that AI can be unintentionally used for bad. So you'll learn about that, learn about neuroscience and AI and evolution. It's on October 27th, 6 to 8:30 p.m. as you can see, and more information will be coming out later this week. So definitely keep an eye on our Instagram and Facebook to learn more. And then we also have an AI research panel, which is still being planned right now, but it will happen sometime week 7. So be on the lookout for that if you are interested in getting involved with AI research at UCLA, or especially interdisciplinary AI research at UCLA. So yeah, I think Harsh, on to you.
What's up, everybody? My name is Harsh. I'm super excited to be the projects director here at ACM AI, and I just want to talk a little bit about projects and what we're going to do here this quarter. Awesome. So here at Projects, we're using ML to solve real-world issues. And just to introduce yourself quick, like I said, my name's Harsh. Frank, if you're there.
Yeah, I'm Frank, and I am a second-year CS major, and I'm really excited to help plan and direct some of the upcoming projects we have.
Awesome. So our project this quarter at ACM AI Projects is a daily Bruin view predictor. So what we're doing is we're building an automatic system that will, given a pair of 2 articles, predict which one will get more views. So what we wanted to do with this is give Daily Bruin more information so that it can better position its articles and get more viewership. Let me give you guys a quick example. So usually when you're walking by a newspaper stand, you only see the front page of a newspaper. And whether or not you pick up that newspaper usually depends on whether or not that first image or first article you see catches your attention. So what we wanted to do was give Daily Bruin more insight into which articles and which pictures are going to receive more views. And that way, Daily Bruin will be able to increase its readership because that image they put on the front will be able to hook more people into picking up their newspaper. So if this sounds interesting to you, we want as many people as we can to join this project. But we do have a few requirements if you want to join. So the first is to take advanced track. So of course, there is going to be a lot of hands-on work in this project. And we need everybody that joins this project to have some level of expertise in the material that we've taught. So we're making it a requirement for you to take advanced track in order to join this project. So we're going to be taking people for this project during winter quarter and spring quarter. So this is a perfect opportunity for you guys to take the advanced track during fall quarter and then join projects during winter, or take beginner track during fall, take advanced track during winter, and then join the projects team during spring. Our goal with projects is to make projects as inclusive as possible and to give people with not a lot of ML experience a chance to jump onto a project and contribute. But like I said, at the same time, we do need some level of expertise in order for you to contribute to this project, which is why we're making it a requirement for you to take the advanced track. So if this sounds like something you'd enjoy and this is something that you want to do, please keep an eye out for advanced track during fall and winter quarter, and then keep an eye out for our applications during winter and spring quarter to join the team. Thanks, guys.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to talk about outreach, which is the last of our 4 subcommittees. So if you can move ahead, John. Cool. So one of the things that outreach does is high school outreach. And we really want to make sure that everyone, as I said earlier, in society has a good understanding of how artificial intelligence and machine learning work at a high level. We really want people to be able to have informed conversations, to be able to talk about AI and machine learning in the context of their own lives. So we go beyond UCLA, which is like workshops does like teaching at UCLA. We try to go beyond, and we teach an AI and machine learning course at North Hollywood High School. And this is in partnership with Teach LA, which is another really cool ACM committee. Definitely check it out if you're interested in teaching. So why do we do this? To make an AI education accessible. We want to also connect you, all you amazing undergraduates with AI experience and passion for teaching to LA classrooms in order to empower youth, especially from underserved communities, to pursue a career in AI. We also really want to help underrepresented and marginalized youth fight against algorithmic injustices. As John talked about earlier, there's some issues with bias arising in AI when you have unbalanced data sets, when honestly that's like every data set, and when you have like models that are trained poorly. We want to make sure that the communities that are being affected by these models have a say in how these models are deployed. That seems pretty fair. How are we doing this? We have open source accessible content. This is all hosted on the Teach LA site. And if you want to check that out, I'll have a link in a few slides. We also do weekly content revisions. So every week after we've gone and taught a class, we're like, what did the students understand? What did they not? And based on that, we adapt the slides. Maya's great at this. She really knows how to like tailor slides, remove all the really complex things that are not super important for like the overall goal. We also work to make engaging explanations. Shout out to Jason, amazing engaging explanations, examples, and discussions. How do we make sure that students are there, especially when we're teaching with all their like videos turned off? We use Kahoot, we use polls. We really just want to make sure that students are following along. We want feedback from them as well. Next slide. Cool, we also have other educational materials. So one of the first ones is You Belong in AI, which is this like really cool podcast. I'm not tooting my own horn, I just think it's really cool. We interview inspiring individuals in the AI community about their background and the importance of representation and inclusion in AI. Some of our past guests have included Jordan Herod, who has this really awesome AI education and AI literacy channel on YouTube. Professor Carrie Noschenberg, who some of you will be fortunate enough to have for CS32, maybe very soon. And the main goal of this podcast, besides just generally trying to get as diverse of a workforce and community within AI practice and research, is to encourage youth of all backgrounds to learn more about AI and pursue a career in the field. We also do learning labs. This is also in partnership with TeachLA, specifically their dev team. So some stuff we've done already is gradient descent visualizer. Gradient descent seems very complex, a lot of derivatives and matrices, but conceptually, what does it look like? We have a little web application that you can check out that shows you what that would look like. We also have done mean squared error in the past. Convolutional filters, really awesome team. Maya, Nisha, and Aman are working on that right now. We're also working on an unfair machine learning lab where you can learn about the ways in which advertising kind of has very strong biases that can change the course of what content you see. Slide. Cool. We also even make TikToks. And so Maya actually asked me to remove this slide, but it's okay. It's okay. It's a really cool TikTok. You should go check it out. Our handle's right there at TeachLA AI machine learning course. Okay, and last thing, how do you get involved? So with workshops, with events, you might have seen a really easy way to get involved. Either attend the workshop, attend the event, projects like right after advanced track, you can join. How do you get involved with outreach? So we usually, because we're teaching this material, we expect our teachers to like have a passion for teaching and to know the content. So we kind of have a little vetting process, like an interview process, when we do this every year. So if you're really interested in outreach, definitely like keep in touch with me, keep in touch with Matt and all the other outreach officers, and we'll try to get you involved with teaching the next coming school year. But until then, we're launching a new FAIR machine learning course. So this is going to be completely non-technical introduction to AI machine learning for very underserved students who don't have a background in math, who don't have a background in machine learning. And we want these students to ultimately be able to have informed conversations about AI and speak up against marginalization perpetrated by means of AI. We're kind of looking at a bunch of different AI ethics courses, like one from Harvard, another one from MIT, just kind of pulling from these different sources, doing some piloting and consulting work during fall and winter quarters. And because this is like a little bit more non-technical and we're doing this from scratch, we'd love to have as many people involved in this as possible. Why is Obama on this slide? Oh, I can actually explain that if you're interested. This is called, I think this was called Pulse. Like there's an algorithm where they were trying to do face depixelation. So you have this like kind of noisy image of Obama, and clearly it's Obama. So like the machine learning algorithm should be able to generate a non-pixelated version of Obama's face. However, this is what the machine learning model ended up generating from these like initial pixels, which kind of suggests that a lot of machine learning models have a bias towards like white faces, and that's likely the result of using an unbalanced data set to train the model. Basically, the majority of the instances in the training set were white faces, or like white male faces actually, and then the rest of the faces were underrepresented. Yeah, so DM me or Matt to get involved. Thank you. Oh, sorry, one last thing. A lot of links. The slides will be posted. I'm not going to read the links letter by letter, but definitely check this out when you get the chance, especially the podcast. We'd love to have more views and reviews. We like thrive off of that.
Awesome. So that was the 4 different subcommittees of ACMAI. Hopefully at least one of the committees has initiatives that interest you, and we'd love to see you come out and participate. And how do you get involved if you do want to get involved? So this is kind of an overview of a typical member roadmap. This is probably what the majority of you will want to do. So most people go to our beginner track workshop because that's just the best way to get a good introduction to AI if you have no experience. All of our workshops are 1 quarter. So maybe you'll spend 1 quarter doing beginner track, and then after that, spend another quarter doing advanced track. And then hopefully, if you're still interested in AI by then, and you want to contribute to our projects team, you'll join our projects team and work on a project for a quarter. And after that, you're really on your own for many quarters. If you're still interested in AI, pursuing a career in AI, maybe, you'll take more UCLA courses on AI and machine learning, like CS 161 or CS 146, or the various graduate courses that we have. Or you'll also work on your own personal AI and machine learning project, maybe even get some of your own internship experience using a lot of the knowledges you've accumulated over your coursework with ACM AI or even at UCLA. So this is what the majority of you will probably be interested in. If you're someone who is interested in joining our team, especially if you're interested in our outreach or events initiatives, the best way to get involved with those things is to actually just join our team. So this fall, we're already in it, ACMAI will be participating in ACM's overall internship program. So what being an ACM intern entails is essentially you're basically given the responsibilities of a normal officer, but you're going to get a lot more guidance. So you're going to have people who will mentor you and help you along the way. And so you don't need any AI experience to become a intern with ACM AI. In fact, many of our interns who are now officers today came in with no AI experience, and they learned a lot on the way from us and from their own studying. And many of them are actually working in AI research labs at UCLA right now. So don't worry about that if you don't have any experience. If you just want to learn more, it's another great way to just come in and network with a lot of really amazing, driven people. And basically, your main responsibility will be helping us develop content for various initiatives, whether it be for our workshops or our high school course or a podcast or something else. And I think the most amazing benefit that you get from being an intern at ACM AI is just being able to meet some really amazing people. I would say for me, the officers in ACM AI are definitely among the most passionate, most driven, most kind, most caring people I've ever worked with. So I would encourage all of you to apply if you're interested in joining this organization. Applications for ACM's internship program will go out week 3. And this will be an application for all the committees. So including cyber, ICPC, etc. You just have to mark that you're interested in AI on the Google form that will go out. And there's some additional questions just for AI that you'll have to answer as well. So definitely look forward to that. We will be posting this in our ACM AI Facebook group. I'll link to it later. And it should also be publicized by the ACM Facebook page, so the overall ACM page. Yeah, so if you found this meeting already, you probably have connected with us in one of these ways already. But if you haven't, that's okay too. I would say the best place, most up-to-date way to get information on us is to join our Facebook group. All of our events will be advertised as Facebook events, and that will be the most quick, the most up-to-date source of truth for what's going on with our events. So definitely join that if you want to. If you really are averse to using Facebook, that's okay. You can join our mailing list if that's linked there. You provide your email, we'll be sending out a mailing list with information on our events. But personally, I would highly suggest you join our Facebook group. It makes things a lot easier for us and for you. And lastly, we have some additional social media to get into contact with us. If you follow our Twitter and Instagram, same handle, ACM_AI_UCLA, we'll give you a follow back. And it's just a great way to connect with officers and know what's going on with our events if you prefer those platforms. And there's also the ACM overall Discord. If you join the ACM Discord, you can reach out and ask us any questions you want in the AI channel in the ACM Discord. yeah, so please join and follow any of that social media that you prefer. But definitely, if you had to pick one, join the Facebook group. That's probably the best one. Okay. So just to quickly recap, here are some important dates for our workshops, which is probably what the majority of you are going to be interested in. Our beginner track workshops happen weekly on Tuesdays, 7 to 9 p.m., weeks 2 through 9, starting October 13th, so tomorrow. The link to the Facebook event is there. Zoom links for all of our events will be posted an hour before in these Facebook events. Our advanced track workshops will start exactly a week from now, 6 to 8 p.m. on Mondays, weeks 3 to 10. And our apply machine learning workshops will start this coming Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m., weeks 2 through 9, from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time. So for whatever workshop tracks you're interested in, if possible, please respond interested in going to the event. It helps us a lot with gauging how many people are coming. It's not a requirement to show up, but it would help us out a lot. But that's also where the Zoom links are going to be posted. So if you want to get notified like an hour before the event, you should definitely RSVP anyways. Okay, that's pretty much all we had. If you went to the ACM general meeting and signed up for the membership portal, we have the event for the ACM AIGM here. The attendance code is avocado, one of my favorite foods if you want to get your points. And these slides can be found at tinyurl.com/AIFallGM20. I'll leave that up for a few more seconds. You can actually paste this link in the chat so you have access to it. The code is avocado. Great. So hopefully you got a chance to get that. If not, the code and the link to these slides are in the chat. Now we'll go into our breakout room Q&A. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. We won't be recording the Q&A session.